Hello and welcome. My name is Kyle FtW and welcome back to another map guide. Today we're taking a look at the map Hotel Royal, which is another one of the beta maps. As I mentioned in my last episode, I will be covering all of the beta maps first, and then I will be going into depth about the base maps. It's just as I said in that video as well, which, by the way, I'll leave linked down below in the description. The reason that I'm not doing any other map is that I want to make sure that I can make a reliable, good map guide instead of just pumping out map guide after map guide after map guide. So I might have written up that I have map guides for every single day this week, but probably it's not going to happen because there's 16 maps in the game, so we're probably not going to be able to play all of them. But anyways, here's a look at Hotel Royal. This is, as I said, one of the beta maps, and it is actually one, probably in my opinion, was the second best of the beta maps. And as you guys can see, there is a look at the mini map, which is, this is sort of a 3-lane map, but is not quite as 3-lane mapped as the Eagle's Nest map, but there is still 3 lanes to it. But there is a overview of the map. Obviously, we have ourselves the light gray area is the main building, which is most of the map, and then obviously the darker gray areas are the outside parts of the map. So let's go ahead and get into this. So this is one of the spawn points, and then I'll show you guys the other spawn point in a minute. But we're going to, just like in the last episode, we are going to go lane, and then we're going to do other lane, and then we're going to cover the entire middle area. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So starting off here, over to our left, you can go ahead and head up this way, and that is the first bit of destroyable cover here on the map, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know. And then which you can run through here, throw a grenade, or melee it. Sometimes it works that if you super sprint through it, but if you just regular sprint through it, you actually won't break it. So you have to super sprint to actually break this area. But if you do, once you break that, you can get kind of a line of sight to enemies that are coming through there. And then if you come over here, this allows you to actually go underground, so be aware, we'll talk about it a little bit later in this map guide, but if you are down there, be aware that enemies can drop right on your face, and then that's kind of a scary moment, I should say, because if an enemy drops down and all of a sudden shoots you in the back, it can definitely take you by surprise and is also kind of annoying as well. But just running back over to where I just was, so yeah, again, keep that in mind that both of these glass bits can break, or all 4 of these glass bits can break, and then you can fall down into that area. Also, be careful, because right where my head is right now, my head is actually poking up. So if there's somebody on the other side of this little metal area, they can easily get a headshot, and then obviously that's a death, which is very, very annoying. So the best way to go about, this little area right here is just, instead of, being down here, showing your head, just go all the way up, and then get ready to take a shot at that guy right there. And again, all this stuff can break, and then you can also go down here into the elevator shaft, and then kind of get a nice little overview into the sort of main area of this bottom building. So let's go ahead and get back up here really quick, and again, can destroy this just like on the other side of the map as well. Then if you go over to our right, again, same situation here. If I'm up here, I can actually get a line of sight to down there. Same case, can get a line of sight to guys that are coming up there, which is very, very cool. Also, I'm pretty sure you can climb up on this. Not really sure what the purpose would be. Maybe to kind of take some enemies off guard, or get a shot on the guy coming up from that ladder, or even, taking people off guard that are right there. But odds are that if you're standing up here, again, sometimes high ground in Call of Duty is useful, but other times it can definitely get you killed. So you have to be very, very careful about being on the high ground. And again, just like over on that other side, this glass also breaks, so you can drop down and kind of get a flanking maneuver on some enemies, which is always useful. Again, not a lot happens here. I would arguably say that, the main area, the main building, gets probably 75% of the action, and then you get 25% of the action here. Maybe those numbers are a little bit wrong. I'd probably say it's probably an 80-20 split, because there are enemies that are constantly over here. It's just odds are that the enemies are going to be in the main building. Also, be careful over here. You don't want to play too aggressive and then all of a sudden get yourself killed. So there will be enemies that will be running through here, but not too often. Just, again, always keep your sights up. Just practice common Call of Duty stuff. Keep your sights up, prepare for enemies. You can get a line of sight over there, line of sight over there, and everything of that nature. Classic Call of Duty stuff. Keep your sights up always, and just prepare. So I think this is the C objective or the A objective. It's one of the objectives. I'm pretty sure this is the A objective, actually. So that A objective is right there. And again, there can be enemies that are over there as well as up here. And then now we are all of a sudden to the other spawn point. So I think there are 4 routes that you can go. Well, I guess technically 5 or 6 routes. You can go over to the left, which is 1. You can go through that door, which is 2. You can go up there, which is 3. You can go through that door, which is 4. And then over here is 5. So there's 5 routes to go when you spawn over here. Be aware of enemies that are up here because they can, take you off guard once you spawn. Unfortunately, the spawns in this game are kind of unreliable. So if an enemy is right here, they can easily catch you off guard and get a very, very annoying kill on you. So just be aware, when you're spawning down here at A, that there could be enemies up here. So just keep your sights up, especially over there. I mean, there's been lots of times where I've spawned in and all of a sudden there's an enemy over there that's shooting me in the side. And that's always not what you want. Then coming over here, we are now onto one of the more long-range areas of the map. We're going to have to be more careful. I would say that that route that I showed you earlier in the video is more oriented towards SMGs and assault rifles. This area over here is definitely more oriented towards snipers and LMGs and marksman rifles because this is the longest range part of the map and is also probably one of the more 3-lane quotes part of the map, which is very, very cool. And again, you can actually mount on here, which people will tend to do a lot. So if you do come from the other side where I'm aiming at right now, just be aware that there probably will be some enemies that are mounting on here. So, react accordingly. I will show you guys a route here in a second that can avoid that. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't recommend ever kind of just sprinting through here like a madman unless you're going to take a very quick left into that building and then vice versa, taking a very, very quick left into that building. But again, just keep in mind that there will be people that are mounting on here. That it just kind of is the way that it is, especially in the beta. People would mount on this area all the time, and you just have to be very, very aware of that. Now, this is actually a flanking route that I use all the time. Nice little view of the Eiffel Tower there. I didn't even notice that. But anyways, if this is a very, very good flanking route. Very, very rarely do I see enemies that know I'm here. So obviously, sometimes enemies will see me from like up here, and then they'll jump down and get me. But this is a very, very good flanking route. Super, super helpful. If you're running down here, you can kind of jump up here, take some enemies off guard that are over here. And then vice versa, if you just stand up here, you can actually get a line of sight over to enemies that are where that door is over there, as well as enemies that might be head glitching on B right there. And then you can even get a line of sight on enemies that are over there in that area, and then over there in that area, which is very, very useful. Again, if you come down here, though, you are pretty much hidden to all enemies, which is obviously very, very helpful. And then again, same case here. You can jump up here, get a flank on enemies that love to camp here. Because again, this area here and that area I showed you guys over there, people love to camp and head glitch at. So if you take this flanking route, you're gonna have the advantage, and you're gonna easily be able to take out enemies. And then again, same thing over here. Can get a line of sight over to enemies at that door, enemies that are over there, and then enemies that are head glitching on B right there as well, which is, again, very, very useful. And it's kind of a sneaky way to actually get some kills on enemies while you're playing, especially because, again, I play Domination primarily, so I know Domination pretty well here on this map, and I know that enemies like to head glitch on there, so you can easily get some nice line of sights without enemies really knowing you're there. Obviously, if I'm standing right here, enemies that are up there will probably be able to see me, but you're not going to want to spend much time here anyways, so it kind of benefits you just to kind of take a quick little look and then kind of move on. Again, same thing as I mentioned over on the A spawn, enemies can come down here and take you off guard as well as over there, so you just got to keep that in mind. So now that all of the outer routes and the upper routes are out of the way, we can now go ahead and jump into the main building, which is where everything's crazy. Again, just like with the last Eagle's Nest video, all of these doors can be broken, but again, people don't really use the doors as a way to kind of get a sneaky kill. They tend to just open them and then leave them open for the entire game, which is why, honestly, I don't like doors in Call of Duty because they don't make any sense. They just are opened and then no one ever closes them again. I mean, maybe in TDM, it's more tactical and people will, close and open the doors to be kind of tactical. But at least from the modes that I play, Domination, Kill Confirmed, the doors are always open and no one ever opens them, or ever opens and closes them and stuff like that. So here is the kitchen area. Again, B is right there, so be very, very careful. That glass pane area and that glass pane area are both destructible environments. Same with all of these glass panes here. So these are all destructible environments as well. And a lot of times when I play Domination on this map, people will love to head glitch up here. Again, there's another destructible environment there. And again, as I said, all this glass is a destructible environment also. There we go. So again, enemies will... So once the game has been going on for a while and all the stuff is destroyed, the middle is a very, very dangerous area. The middle is always dangerous in Call of Duty in general, but once once all the destructible environments are no longer there and the map is open, the middle becomes very, very dangerous. So it's really hard to play the middle of the map. I've come to notice by playing this map, it's very, very dicey. There's very few options about going on a kill streak. The best way that I found I've gone on a kill streak is actually sitting here by this doorway and just picking off enemies that are over there, and then could be head glitching up there. That's just the best way I've found to play this area, but for the most part, you're not going to really want to spend too much time in here. I know that I said that a lot of the action is here, and yes, that's true, but also this is where you're going to get the most deaths, so it's very, very hard to play this area to a advantage. But this is one of the longer sight lines of the middle area of the map right here. You can get a whole long line of sight to enemies that are down there, as well as down there. And this is actually a pretty useful place, especially if you're using a sniper or an AR. There's a lot of mounting positions as well, so you're going to have to keep that in mind and be careful when you're in this area. But this is a very, very popular area for enemies to come through. And again, you can mount here or mount over here. Although mounting over there seems kind of useless, but you can mount here and get some shots on enemies that are over there, which is very, very useful. And again, if things are getting sketchy, you can just run over to the side, run over to your left. And then honestly, this is one of the better ways to play this map, is basically running through this middle area and taking a very, very quick left, getting into here, and then all of a sudden you have an advantage to enemies that are coming from that route, enemies that are coming from that route, and enemies that are on B. Again, they might lay prone there to capture B, which is very, very useful, so you can easily just take them off guard and get a nice kill, which is very, very helpful. And then if you don't like this, and then if you're just sitting in here for too long, you can either run back to where you came from, or you can sprint over here, although I wouldn't recommend it because you'll probably get shot in the back. Then you can climb up this ladder, and now you're in a more safe area. Again, once you're down here, this is probably one of my most favorite spots of this map to be at, because look at I have such a huge advantage on enemies. I can get a shot on enemies there, I can get a shot on enemies there, and then I can even get a shot on enemies that are coming from over there, and even over there. So I like this area personally, but again, you're kind of a fish in a barrel here. There's no really escape route except to run up the ladder or run very quickly to your left, but by this point, I'm going to probably get shot in the back, or I'm just going to I'm going to get damaged. Odds are I'm going to get damaged, or I'm going to fully die, unless I get really, really lucky. So again, keep that in mind as well. So anyways, progressing from here, again, don't recommend just being out here in the open like this. You're just going to get killed from like 5 or 6 different angles. There's one angle there, there's one angle there, and also this stuff breaks as well, so I can shoot through this. All the stuff falls over. So never, again, just common Call of Duty knowledge, never spend more than 30 seconds. I would even say 30 seconds. I'd say never spend more than 10 seconds in the middle of the map, just kind of out in the open like this, because this may work for like a kill or two, but then you want to run right back. You don't want to just hang out here and be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hang out, because you are going to die. There's no way you're not going to. So just keep that in mind. Progressing, this is basically the opposite of what we just were at. This is kind of the wine cellar area, and this does the same thing that building over there does. Be careful about people mounting on that wall, and then again like this, as well as mounting over there and over there. But luckily in this game, I'm not seeing as much mounting as I have seen in Modern Warfare, which is definitely a good sign, because mounting is definitely a kind of annoying thing to counter. But again, same thing. Run through here, get quickly over, or run away, run out here. Because again, I recommend always staying on the outside routes. You can come to the middle of the map very briefly, but then just run back out. That's just the best way to play it, in my opinion, because spending time in the middle, while you might be able to get a lot of kills, you're also going to get a lot of deaths. And maybe if you are super unlucky, you're just going to get a lot of deaths, and then that's not fun. That's not enjoyable. So once again, as I said, these glass areas are ways to get an advantage on enemies. But once this glass is gone, once that glass is gone, this is basically a very, very common area. I see a lot of people head glitching over here all the time, which is great. It can get you a few kills, but then as I said, look, people can fall from above and then shoot you in the back. So again, being here is pretty useful, honestly. I would recommend being here, but for a little bit, maybe get 2 or 3 kills and then instantly run back out here. also, but again, be careful of enemies over there, or just run back into this area. Again, this is the only destructible wood environment in this area of the map, so yeah, this will eventually get destroyed. And then yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this map guide. Again, a little bit of a long, not actually, no, we're about tied with Eagle's Nest, but yeah, so again, just be careful in this middle area. Again, B is right there, so this is actually a really good place to defend B, but this is a very, very short-term area to be in, because again, lots and lots of action is going to go down here in the middle of the map, like always. But basically an overview of this map, all the light gray areas are the middle of the map, or this building here. And this is where probably I would even bump it up to like 90% of the action happens, but it's also the most dangerous area of the map. So if you're going to play this map and you're going to try and do well, definitely stick to the outer edges and then kind of poke into this middle area every now and then. When I play this map, I always am on the side, kind of poke in to get a few kills, and then I continue on my way, because that's just kind of the best way to play this map in all honesty. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Map Guides here in Black Ops Cold War. I am now 2 down and I have 14 to go. Very, very crazy, but I am definitely going to try my best to get all of these videos out for you guys so you can know the maps and try and do as well as possible. If this guide helped you out at all, a like rating is always appreciated. If you want to check out my previous map guide video, which was on the Eagle's Nest map, which went live, I think, on Saturday, you guys can feel free to check that out. But anyway, guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you are new. If you want to check out any of my other previous Call of Duty Vanguard videos, I've uploaded, I think, 7 in the past 3 days, so lots and lots of videos to check out. You can feel free to do that down below in the description, as well as at the end of the video. I'll see you guys all on another Call of Duty Vanguard video very, very soon.